Okay, I guess we're gonna give this another shot. So just give me one moment while I verify that everything's working this time. The last live stream was pretty real time, just a matter of seconds when it comes to delay, but I want to make sure that there's like no stutter and stuff. Okay, so I don't think there's any stutter. I have no idea what's going on with this. It just says check resolution, I guess. Maybe turn it down to 720p or something. I don't know. My internet's not the best in the world. There's definitely better stuff out there. I definitely want gigabit Spectrum. Apparently Spectrum doesn't know what gigabit is. But anyway, if we go back to my channel and then we go over to this one. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. Let's go to this one. Skip ads. So this should be the one where I'm just idle in the locker room. Yep, it is. Oh, it buffered. Okay. So anyway, let me walk you through what we're going to be doing in this live stream. So the first one was only 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to delete it later. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish up some dev work. And then luckily this stuff's going to be like really easy because I've already done the bulk of the work. It's just a matter of copy, paste, and adapt to some other jobs that I did not cover with the feature that I'm going to be putting into the remaining jobs. I'll get to that in a minute. And then I'm also going to read off the changelog for 1.1.6. This is the development preview before I actually release it. And I'm just going to walk you through everything I've been working on. So I've already put in what I'm going to do into the changelog, and it's just a matter of actually doing it. So when we get to that, that's when I'll start doing like actual dev work on stream and stuff. And then as for everything else, I'm just going to read it off and show what it means. So if you look in the lower left where it says nearest postal code 217.6.47M, basically I'm getting closer and closer to where the postal code actually is. So I guess I'm heading away from it. I'm now heading closer to it. I guess you can never get like right on it, especially if it's like in the middle of something like a building. Could be downstairs, I have no idea. But basically there was some overlap when I clock in. The no call waiting was either blocking it or the postal code was blocking the no call waiting, and any form of that message where it might count how many calls there are, or it'll tell you to just press left alt. So then it'll say no call waiting. But that's basically the first little fix I did. The second fix I did, this one's going to require suicide within the game. So let me spawn myself an RPG. So spawn gun, weapon, RPG. So to demonstrate the message, I have to blow myself up. So as you can see, Joseph still committed suicide and died via being killed. That's because I shot the wall. Now, if I were to shoot right here... Okay, I guess it's still not going to work. Well, actually, hold on. Watch this. So if I just stand right here, it should say died via being bombed. Just like that. The next thing would be when I go to shoot someone, it'll pop up saying who killed who. It does the character names on purpose, and it doesn't really say where it happened. It just says that it happened. Obviously, if you're on our server, you're not supposed to utilize that information other than for out-of-character questioning. You know, at least, you know, let's say there's a lobby of 30 people on, and I say, did, you know, so-and-so kill so-and-so? Well, not only do I have it logged, but I also have how many witnesses that saw that pop up. We're gonna leave it like that. Now we could just move it over to logging only, but I like the pop-ups. It also makes it easier to see exactly how often people are dying, since a lot of the deaths tend to be suicide, more so than RDM or whatever. When it comes to non-RP deaths, we don't really have an RDM problem. We have more of a suicide problem, which I would say that's better because at least there's like roleplay going on more so than not roleplay. But people on here sometimes don't really value their lives at times. It's usually just screwing around and stuff. That's usually why. But yeah, I want to make sure that number stays relatively low because, I mean, I'm just saying relatively. In terms of how often it actually happens, it doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen that often. But when it does happen, I would say it's more often than RDM. So far so good for our reputation, I would say. Next one, fix weed activity not showing up in the server. So that requires us to go to the weed location, which, I'm sorry, if you bought the tip, it should be very straightforward. Okay, apparently that is still not fixed. So, restart kjobs underscore. And nothing. So let me check the box to see. Oh, restart kjobs underscore. There it is. Okay. I don't know why it denied my permission for command restart. I thought I set that up already. I'll have another look real quick. Meanwhile, you can watch it grow weed. I know it's a little shaky at the moment. I'm probably going to just have it slowly. Oh my. Yeah, I need to math floor it for sure. Yeah. So for some reason, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we can go back to that later. So that, I guess, is still a work in progress. Fix LS customs to show the current way to call mechanics when a mechanic is on duty. So basically, what that feature is, oh, hi, thin blue line picks. So what that feature is basically when a mechanic clocks in, the auto shops for modding your cars will lock up on purpose, and they will only let mechanics come in. Yes, we will get very mad at you if you're AFK while on duty as a mechanic, because then nobody's going to be able to repair their car unless they have a repair kit or something. But the flip side of that is, as long as you're not AFK and doing your job, what that's going to mean is that you're going to have a lot of business and a lot of roleplay. So I wish more servers would implement that. They just prefer convenience over RP sometimes, and I was willing to sacrifice the convenience in order to force RP in a way that most servers didn't really think about. And I did that a long time ago, but basically you used to do /mec/c and then help. And what that would do is it would put a blip on your map, and it would notify, or I'm sorry, it would put a blip on your map and mark the location of where the call came in. And that's from the mechanic's point of view. Now you just press K, go to open your phone, go to, well, actually I have mouse mode on. Go, oh, what happened here? Oh boy. So when this is working, you go to service and then mechanic. I'm going to have to fix the phone because one of my other patch notes is touching the phone. So the recent calls is no longer a choice within the phone due to previously discovered bugs. I tried to take it out. I guess I need to redo taking it out. Because it should just work, but it's not working. Of course it's not. So we're actually going to go ahead and tackle that real quick. Reason being, I don't want to put up with that later. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an app.js. We're just going to undo everything. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of that line, or that part of it, I should say. And then we're going to do a search for clock-o. We're going to go up because there is another one. And then we're going to take out the second one. And then we're going to do restart GC phone. And what that's going to do is when I go back to my phone, it'll start working correctly. This, no, it won't. Okay. Apparently something else got messed up. What happened? Oh, okay. Okay, I know what happened. So we should be good now. So I messed with the config. I changed the root name to something that doesn't exist. So now it's working again. So you'll go to mechanic. You can pick any of these, and then it puts a call in. And then when you're ready to cancel your call, you just turn it off like that. Next one is fixed black market running an incorrectly named function when buying illegal items, not weapons. So in order to keep the black market hidden, we're just going to go to where it's physically located in the world. It's not the access point. This is not where you go to get into it. This is where you go once you go to the teleporter to teleport to where we're going. So we're going to have to fly all the way out to the port of LS because that's where Rockstar loves to put their interiors. Here it is. So the black market is actually right over here. So basically there was a function that did not exist because it was incorrectly named. So upon changing the name of said function, the menu is now working again. And I get it, I'm a cop, but then again, this is also my dev character. As you can see with this, Joseph Steele is my dev character. Next one. Fix delivery location for tall vehicles when running guns by moving it. So what I need to do is go to the gun running location and change it off stream. It's going to be somewhere up here in the Sandy Shores area, but because I have no idea where it is, and no, it's not over here for the record. It's actually like on this side of town, if anything, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'll have to do that off stream. Updated the HUD to show, or I'm sorry, updated the HUD to support showing a player's rank/position within any whitelisted job, not just police or EMS. Work in progress, not all jobs supported yet. So what that means is when I do /mech, which by the way, this is going to be part of what I'm changing in a bit. Basically, this command's going to go away. We're going to do lead mechanic. This rank does not exist. Senior mechanic. This rank does not exist. Okay, something is not working. Let's try technician. There we go. So as you can see, it now says technician. Another example would be car dealer add 1. So we have car dealer, assistant manager, manager, assistant owner, owner. So I'll do manager. as you can see, I'm now a manager with the hand giving you keys silhouette. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll try to put it against a lighter background so you can see the image a bit better. But it's basically this one right here. Here's another one. Taxi ad 1 bus driver. So normally it would say taxi. Now it says bus driver. And I get it. It's got a picture of the taxi. So what I would have to do is find an equivalent for a bus and program it so if your rank happens to be bus driver, it puts the bus instead. I could do that. It's actually not even that hard. Next one. Fixed mechanic rank naming consistency for chief, assistant chief in order to fix the mechanic's car list being empty for those ranks and the chat suggestions for /mech add ID rank. That's a mouthful. We're gonna get rid of the command part of it, so I might as well just take that out. I'll probably put a date next to when I last modified it, so if I ever like need to look at something again, I have it. I have no idea where this place goes. Even though I've been down here quite a bit lately. Mainly to fix that one function and probably something else. So anyway, yeah, basically the naming consistency determines whether or not cars show up, appropriately, and now they do inside the mechanic garage. So that is fixed. Don't worry about the chat suggestion because, like I said, that stuff's going away. Fix paychecks for PD not working. So to demonstrate that, I would have to modify the paycheck script to pay you every second, which I'm not going to do, but I can verify that it is working. Fix service logs for PD not working. That was kind of a two birds, one stone fix that I did. It not only fixed the paychecks, but it also fixed the logs. They're listed separately just because they were two different tasks that were supposed to happen, and now they are both working, so there's that. Here are the additions. So those were all changes except for the removal. Added death alert logging. Added logging for bank transfer / withdrawals / deposits via an ATM or bank. Added hunting activity, which I'll show that to you guys in a little bit because it's pretty cool. Added supervisory functions for mechanic job. Added supervisory functions for taxi, bus, limo job. Added a clone of the supervisory functions to the K menu staff for the taxi / bus / limo, mechanic, and car dealership jobs. So those supervisory functions are not in yet. Why are they not in yet? Because as you can see with this menu where it's blue, there's supervisory functions, and on the brown menu, there's no such thing. So first, let me fire myself from the police, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. So basically what we have to do is below own vehicle is we need to put in supervisory functions that look like this. Mainly this, and I'm thinking about making it so you can untotal a car if it was wrongfully totaled, but that's just basically a reverse of totaling a car. Basically, with the mechanic job, you can walk up to a car and say, you got to make an insurance claim on that, bye-bye, and just declare it totaled. And that's okay. Like, that's part of the RP. Some cars are going to be beyond repair. Yesterday I had to go to work, so I just declared a car total because I had a probationary with me and I did not have time to roleplay it out. So, unfortunate for the customer, we just roleplayed it as the car just stopped working. It needs to be covered by the insurance. Probably shouldn't have done that, but you know, it's not exactly the best way to do it. But you can get away with it if you're a mechanic because you're the mechanic. You either can or cannot fix it, and it's up to the customer to decide what to do next. You know, now I'm not going to do that on a regular basis. It's not going to be recommended to do that on a regular basis, but I was going to be running late for work if I didn't do that. Sorry, Troy. Now the other thing is payments charge. I need to make it so you can you know, basically take back a car if nobody's gonna pay for it, and you know, there should be some other tools I'm gonna put in here eventually. Some of them are gonna be supervisor functions. Some of them are gonna be just regular old, you know, mechanic functions. Because it's going to be a whitelisted job. We're going to expect you to know what you're doing from day one, with a little bit of training to learn how to do it, and we're going to expect you to know what you're doing from day one. Now, are you going to be a professional on day one? Probably not. You're going to need a little bit of time to get to that professionalism status, or professionalist status, I should say. And, you know, just like with being an LEO, you're not going to be perfect on day one, but we are going to expect you to be in that mindset from day one. You know, basically don't abuse it, don't do this and that, and yeah. So anyway, on to the actual dev work. So this is kind of where I would, you know, admit to being kind of quiet while I work. But basically, I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing as I do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the cop menu, and I'm going to start copying and pasting everything I'm going to need to work with the mechanic job. Everything I'm going to be working with has to come over because that's the only way it's going to work. So, mechanic menu. We're just going to change this to chief. We're going to change this to ASST not chief. Now I'm not sure what the ranks are for the mechanic job, so I'm going to figure out what those are. Lead tech. Okay, this is so far off. Mech add 1. Yeah, that is so far off. It's not even funny. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take senior tech and replace it with senior mechanic. First, we're going to count and make sure. Oh, hold on. Where are the other two? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. So, it has something to do with can target and stuff. So what I'm going to also do is go to the police job, and I'm going to have a look and see how I did it over here, because I have it working, and I also need it to be compatible with the staff menu. So if cops identifier, then that can promote, return true. So I basically just got rid of all of this stuff, all of this junk that we don't need. Awesome. So, whoops. Mechanic job, server, main. I'm going to drag this down next to my other stuff. So, we're just going to comment, 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 comment. We're just going to do return true because, again, we're taking out all of the other ways to do it. So we're just going to have it return true every time. We're not going to do conditions anymore. It's not very smart to do it that way. So next thing. I think it's almost as simple as just doing... Is it really going to be that simple? Because I could take the word mechanic and take the word cop and replace it with the word mechanic if I were to copy and paste all the stuff that is from the cop job into this. And when I do that, all of the singular forms, or singular examples of the word mechanic will be cop will be replaced with mechanic, and all of the plural examples of cops will be replaced with mechanics. This is going to be too easy. So, WOPD first spawn. Okay, so I don't have all of that stuff. Mechanic, now mechanic. So I could do add mech. And then yeah, so basically this is just a matter of mechanic, now mech goes right there. I'm sorry, now mechanic goes right there. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of this event, or I'm sorry, this command that we can do. We're just going to comment that out. And we're going to change this message to congratulations on joining the mechanic shop. The mechanics shop, I guess. Right, next thing. We're going to go down to fire cop, and we're going to replace that with fire mech. And then all we have to do is just take the word cop and replace it with mech. Well, mechanic, I should say. This user is not a mechanic. No longer mechanic. And then all you have to do is just capitalize mechanic and capitalize mechanic again, because we have to. They're no longer a They are no longer a mechanic. Okay. And then WoPD is just mechanic. Oh, whoops. There we go. Who is messaging me? James. What? What is that? What the heck is this? I have no idea what Troy is on about. He was like showing me a thing with this bot. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Sorry about that. I was just reading some stuff. So let's see. We got fire mechanic, mechanic. I don't see any more examples of cop. So the last thing to do is to copy and paste the promo demo thing. And then once again, well, actually, first of all, we got to comment out the command version of the mech rem. And then we have to comment out not one, but two of basically the same thing, promote and demote. They can actually be condensed down to just one event instead of having two commands for it. Technically, you could do one command, but when I say event, it's because of how we're converting everything. Instead of doing commands, we're going to have buttons, and because we have buttons, we have to do events, not commands. Commands are basically... you type into the console, or, well, not the console, but you type in up here, basically trigger an event with all of this data instead of doing it on the client side and then sending it to the server for it to register and do stuff there. You know, basically client to server instead of directly server. This is directly tied to the server side, basically. The chat script itself is client and server, but the way the commands are set up, you're basically, whenever you do like /mech_add and you trigger an event, you're triggering it on the server side. So I guess for more information, figure out how ESX does it, because it's pretty similar. I mean, there's only one way to do it, really. Mechanic, now mechanic. And then we're basically just going to take the word cop and translate it, well, not translate it, but like convert it into, we're going to take the word cop and convert it to mechanic. Okay, awesome. So the next step is senior tech. We're going to do senior mechanic. Then we're going to do lead, hold on, how about lead mechanic and senior technician? And actually, instead of doing senior technician, we'll do, about electronics technician and mechanical technician, and then we can do lead technician. So, if like your radio breaks, and you need to put in a whole new radio, system, for example, electronics technician would be in charge of that. Assistant chief mechanic, and then chief mechanic. I guess we could just change it back to that. Now I'm gonna have to update my garage, or the garages for that, which is fine. Kind of expected that, but hey, at least we're actually trying to get things on the right track now. So let's have a look. Okay, and then electronics technician, that would be the senior. And then lead technician. Assistant chief mechanic. Chief mechanic. And then we'll take this and we'll paste it. Paste, space, paste. So probationary mechanical technician. So again, that's gonna be like your brakes and drivetrain, stuff like that. The inside of your car, fixing things ranging from the sunroof to a light bulb. Like all of that's gonna be the electronics technician. There's not really a promotion per se. It's just kind of what you would rather RP out. And then you have your overall master, and then you have your like the master is basically like there to supervise and stuff, and then you have your two leaders of the whole shop. They manage everything. So anyway, also the electronics technician would be authorized to like work on regular stuff as well, obviously. So that's kind of what my thought process is behind that. As for actually putting stuff into the server, what we're now going to transition to is actually programming the menu. And upon programming the menu, I'm going to be able to just copy it and paste it directly into the staff section, which is a good thing. Because, like, it's so stupid having to, like, go into the text chat and remember, like, what the command is, and then you have to like find the ID and stuff. I'm trying to make it so that number next to my name, which is ID 1, I want to make sure that 1 is useless. You know, other than the number over my head, basically. So, as for actually putting this in, we're going to have to go into cop job menu and drag this all the way down right here. And we're going to find that menu. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically just take... Okay, so this is kind of where I'm starting to wonder how I'm going to end up doing this. So, okay, let's just copy and paste this one for now. So let's give us some room. This is going to be mechanic menu to supervisory menu, mech administration, so we have advanced citizen interactions, which I have no idea what I'm going to put there, and then we have internal department actions. Advanced advanced internal actions, or I think is what that stands for. So let's go ahead and do hire an employee, warn an employee, promote/demote employee, and terminate. So we're going to copy all of these. There's the salary thing I was wanting to work on. So I'm probably going to take out the warning feature just because I don't feel like programming it right now. I just want to get the ranks put in first, and then we can come back and work on that stuff later. So just by copying and pasting this into here, it's just a matter of changing WoPD into something else. Specifically, okay, let's take out the salary menu by commenting it out. Okay, so we're going to do probationary right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so if you are assistant chief mechanic or chief mechanic, then you can just do everything. I'm not even going to worry about setting it up very well. Not because I'm trying to, like, you know, half-ass it necessarily, but there's just not enough ranks to really worry about, so I can kind of get away with it without making it look sloppy, basically. It's a corner cut, sure. Like, you can say, oh, you know, Razorman Extreme cuts corners and shit, but I'm cutting the corners in a very tasteful manner because there's just not much to work with. And as, you know, from looking at the ranks and seeing how many there are and who does what within the department, specifically the mechanic shop. So in this case, there's not really an issue with me cutting a corner, you know, by basically making it so you can hire, promote, demote. I'm, again, not going to worry about warning. And I'm going to also make it so you can fire. And instead of putting rank restrictions on these buttons, let's just, you know, it's either you see them or you don't see them if you're assistant chief or chief. It's just you do or you don't. Depending on if you are an assistant chief or chief. Because like I don't see a need for the lead tech to look at this stuff. You know, they're a technician. They're not in charge of the whole shop. They could be in the future. And again, that's the other thing. I can cut a corner now and just fix it later. So there's that too. So that's my thought process. So let's see. Woo PD should be mechanic. Okay, we'll leave that one alone because I don't want to touch that. It has to do with checking plates, and I just do that through the cop job itself. So we're going to do add mechanic. Then we're going to do demo cop, demo mechanic instead. And this is just so overkill. Is it mech or mechanic? Mechanic. Okay, so because it's mechanic, I can just leave it. So now the next thing is to basically create buttons, probationary, mechanical technician, electronics, lead, assistant, and chief. So I'll just make it so if you're the assistant chief, you cannot promote to assistant chief. So if rank equals mechanic or chief mechanic, then you can do assistant chief mechanic. Okay. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do lead technician. And then electronics technician. Mechanical technician. And probationary is already there. Perfect. So we'll just get rid of this one right here for the cadet thing. So probationary, mechanical, electronics. Obviously, I'm going to have to change where it says Officer 1 to mechanical technician. So this is where you kind of make everything look pretty. Maybe electrical is what I should be. Electrical technician. Yeah, I'll go in and change it on the electrical. Yeah, I can change that right there. And then this is where you put lead technician. And then basically, if you were the chief mechanic, you'll be able to see the assistant chief mechanic thing. And then when I go to port this into the staff menu, I will unlock the option for chief mechanic. So that way staff can issue that that position within the job. Fire mechanic. That should be the last, or the second to last one. Yep. So now, here's what it should look like when it is done. So restart mechanic job. So because I took that out, just ran into a small problem. I kind of have to go ahead and just port this into the K menu because I'm not going to be able to do it any other way. Oh shoot, wrong menu. So fire, how about fire mech? And then advanced int, or advanced int actions mech is what I'll change all that, or all of these to. Because, yeah, I'm going to have to copy and paste this into the K menu in order to actually use it. Or see if it even works. Okay. So on the main menu, let's just do let's just jump straight to that. Mechanic menu. So basically this whole thing right here is not going to do anything. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One other thing to do. We need to rename the top of this to supervisory actions. Now I should be able to actually go in and hire mech and fire. Where is fire? Promo demo mech. Fire mech. Fire mech. Promo demo mech, or mechanic I should say, and then hire mech. And then we're going to take out this, oh, shoot. I forgot about that. Adjust mech rank. Right. So adjust mech rank. It should actually be up here. See, I was about to push out an update and it would have already had a bug with that. And it would have probably taken me a little while to figure that one out. So, yeah, I'm going to go and just remove this because this is just cluttering up the script. And I need to be able to port this in really smoothly. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So we're going to go over to core underscore. We're going to go to inventory. We're going to go to client. And we're going to go to where it says police. Well, hire, I guess. Hire LEO. Fire EMS. Okay, so that's where EMS and stuff goes. So we'll just stick this right here. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to get rid of this right here. The if rank equals that. Well, that is in chief mechanic. We're basically going to put in yet another button, but it's going to be to hire the actual chief mechanic. So the reason why we're doing that, like I said, is so that way we can actually use this stuff. fire EMS. So what we're going to do next is we're going to just clone this down one. We're going to put mechanic. And what is the name of this? Advent Actions Mech. So we'll just go up and up till we get there. And there we go. So now when we restart the mechanic job and we restart core underscore, here's the grand reveal of what I just did. Mechanic, hire an employee, and what happened? Hire an employee, and it's not working. Okay. Hire mech, mechanic, add mech. Is that what it should be? Is it add mech or add mechanic? So you see, this is already problem number one. It's not working right off the bat. A little bit of getting it just right will make it work. Okay, it should just be add mech. So rather than changing it there, I'm just going to change it on the server-side script. So add mechanic. We're just going to restart the mechanic job, and this should just work just like that. Promote, demote. We're going to do chief mechanic. This rank does not exist. Okay, let's have a look. There is an extra space. There should not be. So we're going to restart the mechanic job, and we're going to try that again. I got to restart core underscore because that broke. Perfect. Okay, so basically here's what's happening. There's a bug. There's a bug. Oh, it's just this one. Okay. So what we need to do now is go check the menu to make sure that it is not like that, and it is. So let's get rid of that. Restart mechanic job, restart core underscore. Okay, let's run through this from the top. So mechanic, promote. We're going to do probationary, promote, mechanical, promote, electrical. You see, this is why you bug test. Okay, so it's electrical, not electronical. Forgot to change it. See, little tiny bugs. Good thing I'm running through this. So electrical, lead, assistant chief, chief. So now when I go here, this one's gonna be a bit of a pain, but it should be synced. Now what I can do to verify that everything is synced is just to compare them. I don't see any bugs. So, I can try demoting myself. And then demote myself again. Oh, okay. I guess this is working. I need to have it so it'll force out the menu. Or force the menu off. This menu is so out of date. Because, like, when I refresh it, it just disappears. And it's just not even going to be there. So, like, if somebody were to fire you, you could just sit there and fire all of the mechanics in the lobby. Which is a huge troll issue. You know, so... Well, actually, then again, you're the one doing it. So I guess it's not an issue. If it becomes an issue, we'll have to deal with it accordingly. What's up, aggro? So anyway, last thing to do is... Let me put myself back as... Oh, what happened? Must be an issue when I'm backing out of the menu. Let's run through it. So mechanic, yep, it doesn't know what to do. So we're gonna have to go in and fix how we ported this. Yeah, this should be WL jobs, not mechanic menu. Because we're just porting it. We're not actually doing anything special. So now when I go in, I should be able to go all the way in and come all the way out. So here we are all the way in. Now we're going to come all the way out. We're going to open it back up. And while we're at it, we're also going to check this. That's working. And then I did the police one correctly. Otherwise, it would have broken by now. Yep, it is completely working. Not a single issue with that now. So now that we have the mechanic job ported, what I'm going to do next is... Do I want to do it for the taxi job tonight, or do I want to save it for tomorrow? Or do I want to do it later tonight when I'm like half asleep and mess it up? Okay. So I'm going to hold off on doing it for the taxi, bus, and limo job, and I'm going to hold off on doing the car dealership and taxi, the taxi creation and port and car dealership port of supervisor functions into the K menu. I just put mechanic stuff in for both. I'm going to have to do it again for taxi. I already did it for car dealerships, but I have not put it into the K menu yet. That's going to be the easiest one to do. But I think what I can do is just say, I'm not doing that until I do it for the taxi, because it's going to require more work and it'll motivate me, because it's going to be like, oh, well, you could just do the easy work, you know, and just forget about the hard work, or you can do the hard work and reward yourself with easier work, and then the satisfaction that it's all done. So I think I'm going to take that route and just put it off again. I think that's going to do it for that stuff. So I still don't know what's going on with the weed activity. It is just so broken, and I cannot figure out what's wrong with it. I just don't know what's wrong with it, to be honest. There's just something weird about it, and it just does not want to work at all. So maybe I'll just have to write a new way to get pot. And with that, you know, will come new features, new processes that you have to do. Like, maybe you have to take it somewhere and, like, you know, do something with it, and you have to do something else with it, and then you have to like smoke a little, make sure it's all, you know, like that it meets the quality, and if it doesn't, it'll just like randomly tell you this weed sucks. You know, try again or something. I don't know. I have no idea how pot works. It's just, you know, add something to it maybe. Oh my. We're just gonna go back in because I don't want to reveal where that is. We're just gonna like teleport to the middle of the city. Oh shoot, how am I not falling through? Or better yet. Man, this would be a cool interior to come into. Well, I know one way. Ah, never mind. Well, I mean, maybe if I try out the fire button, I'll be able to get myself out. So there's that. I do have a giant list of things I'm going to put in eventually. There's also some just brainstorming. So, things that I've always wanted to put in, things that I would love to put in at some point in the future, things that I'm kind of like, yeah, this should kind of go in just because it's just a good idea, or it makes sense, it fits, etc. Whatever it may be. There's just a bunch of like ideas that I have, and I've written them all down as they come to mind. And that was about 4 a.m. last night. It was just, there's just something about my FiveM development that is like really good at 4 a.m. for some reason. Like my ideas are at their peak. My motivation to get stuff done is at its peak at 4 a.m. for some reason. And yeah, hopefully some of those ideas will be added soon. Oh my god, then why don't you, homie? There are people that have joined our FiveM server, but they don't play. So why don't you? That's the catch, buddy. Why don't you? And I'm talking about someone on Discord. He says he can help us get more players, and I'm like, why don't you? You know? You know, like, I haven't done anything to the guy. Why doesn't he help us out? We'll help him out if he helps us out. You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, all of the call waiting things should not overlap anymore. I have not actually tested this one. And as you can see, it's still overlapping. So what I'm going to have to do is go into the client for, let's see, jobs. Yep, there goes my headset. I'm just going to put 3 or so. I don't even care. I need to plug in my headset. So anyway, yeah, now that my headset's working again and I just finished typing a message, yeah, I just need to adjust the text real quick. So why didn't this one update when I redid it? Not that it like really matters. I'm sure it's just because I opened up main_client and got absolutely nothing when it comes to that particular one. So yeah, we're just gonna go there. We're gonna go all the way to the end. And paste. Restart mechanic job, and I'm gonna hire myself again. Oh, whoops. There we go. So now it says loading, no call waiting. So as you can see, that one's actually fixed now. So now that that's fixed, if you like what you've seen so far, be sure to leave a like rating on the video. It really helps me out. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. I cannot talk tonight. Be sure to subscribe. That's probably the clearest it'll ever sound tonight. I'm getting pretty tired. I've had a long day. Went to the beach today, hung out with family. Getting pretty exhausted. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that. Let's see. What's another thing I need to do that's like on this change log list that's not like secret related? Well, there's the weed activity. I could take a crack at it again. It's because it just won't work. So maybe instead of making it work in that regard, what about if I took like another approach to it or something? I don't know, but there should be like another like weed picking activity. So what I might do is just rewrite weed. As for the other drugs, I might have to rewrite those as well, just completely from scratch. So that way we'll have custom drugs. Not gonna use anything as a base. I'm tired of like using other people's shit for some stuff. I just want to write it myself and make it right on the first try, kind of thing. Maybe even have it pay more. Who knows? But I'll end up writing my own script. Maybe I'll actually showcase it. Maybe I'll just make that my contribution. So that way, if you too want a drug script, you can just look at my code and use it or something. I don't know yet. I'm very protective with my code because I don't like to give it out to people. I feel like it would just create more of I feel like it would divide up the community more, to be honest with you. Like, as much as I would love to like bring people closer together by sharing and being nice and stuff, and in turn making friends and stuff, I just don't like to deal with code because it's like that's all people really use you for is code in a more toxic environment. And FiveM definitely has a toxic side, and I don't want to feed that at all. Not by being stingy, but by just handing out code and everyone uses it to fuel their toxic communities and stuff, because there are a lot of toxic communities out there. Not all of them are bad, and I'm not saying the whole platform's like toxic, but what I am saying is there's a nice giant handful of toxic people out there, power hungry people, and you can't really hide that. You know? So with hiding the code that I have, I want to stand out more by not releasing what makes me stand out, you know? I mean, I've helped people in the past with stuff. I've gone on the forums and said nice things and helpful things and stuff like that. And that to me is my contribution to helping while not just handing out code and getting used. Because there are people that love to hand out their work and they just say, here, give me credit, and that's it. That's all I want. Me, on the other hand, I'm not like that. It's when I release code to my server, I'm not trying to like dig myself a hole or anything, but I just have a different view on it. I think that when I release the code, I want it to be, you come here for the full experience, not here, let me just hand out pieces of the experience and you can go make your own. You know, because I'm trying to run a server too. You know, I don't want to create competition with my own work, in other words. There's already going to be enough competition. I don't want to add to it. I think that the main problem with FiveM, though, is that there's too many communities and not enough balance with just agreeing to play in one place. What makes me stand out is that I have all this cool stuff that nobody else has. That's how I want to stand out as a community. That's why I want my community to be considered the exception to there's too many communities. You know, there should be like a handful of ESX servers. There should be mine, and there should be a handful of other types of servers. Not a million ESX servers, mine, and a million other types of servers. Like, there should just be a handful of each, and you just add to it. There should be more servers like mine, but I don't want to be the reason for that. And when I say more servers like mine, I also mean like more varied servers, not clones that are identical. So, I don't know, that's my chat for the day. Trying my best to not sound hypocritical when I say there's too many FiveM communities and I turn around and run one, but I truly have something different to offer. From just a regular old ESX server. You know, this isn't ESX. This is completely custom. And that's the thing about being completely custom is nobody can copy you. You do everything the way you see fit as a dev, and you make it good, and then players come on and enjoy it, and you don't have to like piggyback off of other people, you know, and wait for like the latest version of a script to come out. You know, you can just do it yourself. I like it the way it is around here. I wouldn't change it for anything. Yeah, there's a nice big blue sky behind my character, and yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to do. So I think with this one, I wanted to make it so you could undeclare a vehicle totaled. You could do some other stuff. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I need to actually re-enable something. Now, I'm not sure if it was actually causing issues to begin with, but perhaps I could just lower the rates. But I wrote this entire system and nobody is like funding it at all. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trying to make it more prominent. The government and taxes. I think it's a much needed feature, and I think if we can just pull it off correctly, the way I was doing it was just every time you logged on, you paid your taxes. That was it. So if you log out a million times, you pay a million taxes. But, you know, we can always refund you if you're like lagging out. We can tell if you're lagging out. In fact, every time you leave the server, we know exactly why you left. Exiting, quitting, SIHIP receive, which is when the server turns off, disconnected, timed out, whatever. I can see it all. So I can look in and see if you're lying or not when you say that you got disconnected, you know, from lag. Right. I guess. Yeah, you can play if you join 147.135.70.151:30155. Several's YT. Sup? I'm currently messaging someone, so just bear with me. Um, okay, so anyway, yeah, here, I can just drop it in chat, I guess. 147.135.70.151:30155. I'll put the IP address in the description later. Also, do join this. Link is in the description already. But this is how you play our server. Now, I'm on the dev server, so you're not going to be playing with me specifically. Yeah, like, you're not going to be on here with me specifically, but you can play the server that I'm going to be updating soon. It's currently the old version. This is the new version, so we're going to push this to the public server here in a bit. Probably tomorrow or the day after is when I'm targeting, but I have no idea. Cool. Cool. See you then, I guess. Talking about Discord. Yeah, I need to do some stuff in here. Yeah. Dealer customization. So if you're the owner, you're going to have access to going on duty and managing the car dealer job, but there should be a property menu for basically when you buy it, you get the whitelisted job, which you can then use to hire people. But I don't know yet. There's some cool things that I'm thinking about doing. I want to do a property management system. It's gonna come in multiple parts. So like we're gonna have like residential, commercial. We're gonna have like varied versions of that stuff for different purposes. Like residential is in, houses and apartments. But then you might be able to turn around and do you prefer crunchy or creamy peanut butter when put on Ritz crackers? I don't know why I would answer that question, but like there's these like little cracker packs that I get at the grocery store and they're good snacks. They're just the peanut butter Ritz crackers. They're little sandwiches. So 2 Ritz crackers and peanut butter in the middle. Those taste pretty good. As for actual peanut butter, I'm sure that would taste better, but I mean it's kind of whatever. Like it is peanut butter. It's just a little more processed and a little more boxed food than fresh food, I would say, versus out of a jar, but whatever. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish up some of this stuff. I'll probably finish working on it tomorrow after work. I still got to go up to Sandy Shores and move the gun running drop off so you can fit larger vehicles into where it is. And then from there, I'm going to have to put in the taxi stuff into the taxi menu for hiring and firing, and then port that to the K menu, and then finish it off with porting the car dealer stuff to the K menu. And then I also need to work on pot as well as all the other drugs that are currently not working. Thus, basically setting up my week moving forward. Like, that's pretty much everything. So, what else am I missing on here that I forgot about? Fixed overlap, fixed death alerts, fixed... Well, actually, I did not fix weed. Fixed LS customs, fixed black market, fixed delivery... Or actually, I have not done that yet. Updated the HUD to support showing a player's rank / position within any whitelisted job. That I still need to finish. I did fix the mechanic ranks. I might even add in another mechanic rank. One thing I do need to do, though, is make it so it's based on your rank, how much you get paid. And then I did fix the paychecks within PD. I did fix the service logs within PD. Added death alert logging on Discord. Added logging for bank transfers, withdrawals, deposits. Added hunting. Already did the supervisory functions for mechanics. And already did the supervisory function for mechanic within the key menu. And then I did fix the phone. So basically, to recap, because I did show this earlier, when I go to my phone, if I can not right click, when I got a phone, it was just a white screen. Now it's actually got some detail on it. You go to services, mechanic, just pick one and you are good to go. Dial number manually. Where is that? Static config. Where is it? Tap phone, enter number. I don't see anything anywhere else. I wanted to see if I could potentially move that button. I was thinking about putting it somewhere else and making the telephone app strictly services. But what I might do later is telephone, and it basically goes straight here, and then instead of being able to call your contacts from there, maybe just do it from like right here. You could just right click and then call, or you can press and then it'll give you the option to do messaging or calling. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet. I need to figure out how the heck this phone works. I'm not very good with JavaScript, but what I can figure out though is perhaps how to modify it so it'll go the way I want it to, because I don't want telephone to do contacts and services unless I can get services to come up first. You know, I feel like people that are trying to call the police don't want to have to sit there and remember, oh yeah, I got to scroll over real quick. I'm insane with JS. Well, cool. Maybe you can help me look through it and you can co-develop it or something. You know. But yeah, I mean, you're not getting the phone script, Troy, but I'll let you like look through it and perhaps help me out with it. Yeah, other than that, I've been kind of just wandering around for the last 5, 10, 20 minutes. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the live stream and we're going to meet up again later, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go back to work on some stuff that I don't want to just show on live stream, such as like where stuff is. Well, anyway, like I said, thanks so much for watching. I was just reading a comment. Yeah, it's true. I do keep my stuff locked up tight as much as I can, but you know, some people still have access to it, so screw them, I guess. Anyway, like I said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe, join our Discord, join our FiveM server, all that good stuff. Be sure to join discord.me/Kale as well. Trying to run a community, but I'm not really putting that much effort into it as we speak. Maybe I'll have to step it up a little bit. But other than that, yeah, have a good one, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Take care. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow or something.